guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today we are going to be making some mixed media embellishments, and these are lovely. There's quite a few little steps to making these, but they are really lovely. It's definitely worth it. But they are just beautiful. I am loving them. So then they're hard. They're really quite nice and hard. So I just thought these would look beautiful in your journals, on the front of your covers. You can make them into embellishments to stick onto tags. I think this one would look lovely on a tag. I think they're lovely, just beautiful. And then I've got some like little tiles. Now I remember making tiles ages and ages ago, and they are just lovely. I will do a close-up at the end of the video, but they are just beautiful. So I've got lots and lots of paint on my hands because I've been really busy. I have got some little words as well on there, so they are lovely. That one just says romance, and that's BU. We have love this, and we have dream. So they are really lovely. So I'm going to pop these to the side, and I'm going to go through step by step how we achieve these. So let me just take those off, pop those to the side. Now I have a piece of watercolor paper, which is fun. Now this is CANSON watercolor paper. I think it's 300 GSM that I've got. I'll pop a link under the video for that as well, if you haven't got any. But you want either watercolor paper or mixed media paper, just so you've got a nice texture to it, and a nice weight. So I'm hoping that's not going to go blurry on my video. Right, so the first thing we are going to do is make something like this. So nice and messy. Now this one's still a little bit wet. As you can see, look, you see it's got Crackle glaze on there, Crackle medium on there. We've got some copper paint, we've got some blue paint, we've got all sorts of the little bits and pieces in here. This one's still a tiny bit wet, so I'm just going to pop that one to the side. This is the first one I did, and it turned out a little bit messy, but it still came out fabulous. Loving all the textures on there as well. So that's got pink, copper, it's got a lovely beigey colour. I've got some ink on there, so all sorts of lovely bits and pieces. These two, I just love this colour, this blue and gold, and the blue and copper is just beautiful. If you can see, so we've got that lovely Crackle glaze in there, which is beautiful. So I did put under this one, I did put the pinks and purples under there to start with, and then I just sort of like covered up because I didn't like it. But again, you can use any colours. So I'm just going to show you. Let's get started. Let's pop those over there. So nice messy one. So I've got some acrylic paint, so we're going to use, this one is pink or rosa, and then we have a copper. So I'm going to take a little bit of that on there, a little bit of the copper, like this. I'm going to show you what to do, and then I'm going to have to leave them to dry. So I've got my nice little grubby bit. That's why I've already done some that we can use to make the embellishments with. So I've got some lovely paint. Look at that, just beautiful. And the colour it comes through is just stunning. So you want a colour, you want like a base underneath to put the Crackle glaze on. So I'm going to just pop this on all over the top of there, making a nice mess on there, which is fab. Look at that. So I'm going to just quickly give that a little dry. Now you're meant to dry it completely. Wait till this is dry and then put the Crackle glaze on. But I found that because I'm impatient, I just dried it a little bit, added the Crackle medium, which is this, which is the FolkArt one, which I've had for donkey's years. I don't even know whether you can get the same one. This has been, can you see it's all sort of like misshapen, my bottle, but I've had it for so long, and I keep looking at it on my shelf and never get round to using it, so I thought I would use it. So what you do, you put a base layer of acrylic paint, you pop this on the top, you let this dry supposedly, and then you put another layer of paint over the top of that, and that will cause it to crack. But I don't let it dry for that long, because I'm impatient and it works out lovely. So I'm just going to quickly give this a little dry over. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to take my Crackle paint, Crackle medium. I will see if we can still get this, see if it's, I've got a link on Amazon. It's just, I'm just going to just squirt that over the top like that, and then just go over this. You only need a thinnish layer on there, really. Like that. I'm going to leave that. I will leave this probably for about 5 minutes just to dry off just a little bit. Let's just make sure we can take that off. So I'm going to just quickly whiz over with my heat gun. And then I'm going to just leave this for 5 minutes, just to 5-10 minutes, just to dry a little bit. So I'll just leave that for a sec, and then I will be back. Okay, so that's been there for like 5 minutes. So I'm now going to pop some acrylic paint. So this is like a antique white. Gosh, that looks a bit grubby, doesn't it? And then I'm just going to put this over the top. Oh gosh, don't drop your bottle. Pop that over the top. Take our little spatula thingy-majiggy. Not spatula, is it? It's a little card. Any sort of scraper. So we just want it to go on. You're not really supposed to go over it too many times. Like that. So I'm just going to leave that like that. And I'm going to heat it up, but you can see already that there's little lines coming through. If I can show you, if you hold that up, can you see the little cracks are coming through already? So you don't have to leave it till it's completely dry. Add your paint on. Just experiment on there and see, because it comes out with some really, really lovely textures. Now I'm just going to quickly go over there with a little bit of heat. So I'm going to just leave it like that, but you can see the pink coming through as well on there. Can you see? So I love it. So I'm going to just leave this one to the side so it will dry. But that's basically what you do. So you need to leave that to dry, and it will come out sort of like that. And you've got, now I have done on a couple of them, I think it was this one. I went over it a few times. So I've sort of like layered this one up. I did another layer of paint over the top of it, and then I did another Crackle glaze, and then I did another layer of paint. So just experiment and add things how you think you should do it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to leave that one to dry while we get on with making some bits and pieces. So that's generally how I got to this stage. Now I'm going to just take these over, and I'm just loving them. So what we're going to do, the next stage is obviously, oh, I've got some already cut. I did cut some here, so that's these pieces. So the next stage obviously is to cut them up, and I just think these are just fabulous. Look at that. It's just so lovely, isn't it? So I'm going to take my, no, I'm not going to take my cutter yet. I'm going to wait. Now to embellish them, I have got these lovely, lovely rub-ons from Tapology, which I've added, and I just think they look beautiful. Now I haven't cut this down yet, because what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut a flower out. But what shall we do? I did like this one, which I cut out earlier, which is a beautiful purple flower, which I think would probably go on there. Absolutely gorgeous. Or do you think we need something just a little bit bigger? See, I'm loving these. These are just gorgeous. So the thing about these is, if you're going to do it, you need to make sure that your paper is really, really dry. So you want to do it sort of like in the evening, and then let it dry overnight, and carry on. See, I did mine this morning and they dried lovely. But don't count, because if you put, unless you put something else over on the top of it, because if they're not dry properly, you won't be able to rub on your rub-on. It won't stick on there properly. But these rub-ons are just lovely. So they just peel off the back, and then they just make this look so oldie-woldy. So I've just popped that over the top like that. Should I just come in a fraction? There we go. I'd like you to see what I'm doing. So if we come in there, so I've just rubbed that over the top, and now you can actually see a little bit more of the texture on the paper. It's just beautiful, isn't it? So I've got my little, whatever it's called, I can't remember, my little scory thingy. Just rub that over, like that. Make sure you rubbed it on. These normally come with little, sort of like those little wooden lollipop sticks, don't they? So just make sure we are stuck down nicely. There we go. These are so lovely. Oopsie daisy. So simple to use. Where did that go? There we go. So that's on there nicely. And I'm just going to chop that down like that. I'd rather chop it down when I put it on, so I know how big it's going to be. So that's on there like that. So I'm going to actually do another one. Let's put that over there. Should we do a couple? Maybe I'll do one on here as well, because this is lovely. You can see it's got all sorts of different textures on this one. This one went a little bit wrong, but I think the textures look fab now. I just love them. So let's have a quick peek. What shall we put on here? Look, we've got this lovely, beautiful rose. Maybe I'll put the rose on there. There's my scissors. I'll pop a link to these. These are Tapology, and they have some absolutely amazing rub-ons. They are just beautiful. So I'm going to put that one on there. I've got the little words. Now, with the words, these are also the Tapology words. And I'm using these and not my embellishments, my word ones, because I print on an inkjet printer and it would smudge when I put them on here. So I was using these ones because they're probably not, they're not inkjet printers, they're proper printer ones, laser printer ones. So what should we have on here? We want a nice, oh, decisions. I quite like that. We want something sort of browny, don't we? Because I think that would probably work. Oh, let me just put this one on and I'll have a quick think. Take that off. Look at that. I don't think we need it that big, but I like this little crackly bit over here. So let's just put that on there. Oops, is my table wobbling? There we go. So give it a good rub, like that. Make sure it's stuck on nicely, and then this just peels off. Oh, there's the end. There we go. So look, that just peels off. Really, really lovely. What should we put on this one? Maybe we'll go this end so it's a little bit lighter. And we shall go for, I don't think the purple will go on there, will it? But I think that one. Too many to choose from, I think. Let's just take this one off. Open that up. Just pop that on there. Like that. I do have some lovely Valentine ones as well. They had some lovely hearts on. I could have used those, but I think I needed a different paper, different colour on my on the backgrounds. But these make it look really sort of like oldie fashioned, don't they? They're just beautiful. Right, do we have a word on here that we could put on there? Let's see. Lots of little words on here. Secrets of the Heart. We could put that on with the rose, couldn't we? Do you think that would go over there like that? That would, wouldn't it? Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to ink the edges. Like that. These are just like little stickers. We need it to all match in, so let's just add that in there. Pop that on. That's lovely. Take my little cutter. Go about there, and then I will just chop just a little bit off the end. Just like that. And look at that, isn't that just lovely? Secrets of the Heart, that's fabulous. Pop this one in. I'm going to leave this one as it is. Pop our little bits and pieces to the side, like that. Now I'm going to take my little corner punch and just go round the edges, like that. Oh, there we go. So that's given it a really nice sort of like little sort of journal card look. Now we're just going to ink those white edges like that. Now this is obviously watercolor paper, but you, like I said, you need to do one that will take the paint, so you do need a mixed media or watercolor. Now I'm going to take my little circle punch on this one because I want to take the little indents out of the corners. So I'm going to pop it in there and just see the little corner there. I'm just going to snip that off just so it gives us a really nice little shape, like that. Can you see? So that's got a really nice shape to it. These are just so pretty, and look at that, you can see all that lovely crackle in there. Just fabulous. Oh, we've got this one here as well, haven't we? What shall we do? Shall we just give him, I don't know, I think maybe we could maybe take a bigger little corner, like that. Look at the mess of my whole punch, my little corner punch. There we go. Which way round does it go? This way, that way, like that. Fabulous. Let's ink it up. So we've used paint, acrylic paint, we've used the Crackle medium, we've got the little rub-ons, we've got the ink, the little words, and now we are going to use a little bit of resin. Now again, you can just leave them as they are like this, but I'm going to use some resin on these. Or you could use diamond glaze as well. Diamond glaze would work really well. But I'm just going to use UV resin because I just love my resin. I do like resin. And then I've got this beautiful lamp from Let's Resin. Right, I'm going to come back out again now. So I've got this lamp from Let's Resin, which is a wireless lamp, which will just go straight over the top of these and set them really, really well. Now I'm just going to leave them on the mat like that. I'm going to go back in again so that you can see what I'm doing. Let's just do one at a time. Let's do one at a time. Now you've got to be careful because they do warp just a tiny bit. So hold that on there. Can you see that lovely shine? Oh, it's just beautiful. Where are we? Are we there? There we go. I'm going to take a little bit of resin and just blop that, technical terms, blop it over the top like that. Now do be careful with resin. I should really be wearing gloves, but I'm not going to touch it. I've got two little cocktail sticks and I'm just pushing it round to the edge. I'm holding it with one and then just pushing round to the edge. Now if you saw my Let's Resin video the other day with the butterflies, little dingly dangly butterflies, this is the same technique. So it's just pushing it around. But again, like I said, you can use diamond glaze. to do this hard layer, or you don't even have to put anything on it, or go over with a little bit of Mod Podge or something, just to make the surface, protect the surface a little bit. But you know what I'm like, I do like my, oh look, I've got paint everywhere, my resin. So I'm just pushing it all the way to the sides, all the way to the edges, just like that. There we go. Oh, this is so lovely. Do you know what I mean? I think these with the resin are just beautiful. I think I will probably, with the rest of the papers that I've done, I wanted to make like a little canvas and sort of like do little tiles or things like that on it, and then do epoxy resin over the top. So I might do that next week for mixed media, do a canvas, so we shall see. Can you see that's beautiful on there? That's just around the edge. I think that's all. I'm going to pop that to the side. I'm just going to use my heat gun just in case there's a couple of bubbles in there. That just sort of like pops all the bubbles. So I'm going to pop this over the top for 3 minutes. This is my little lamp. Oh, let me just go back out and just show you. This is my little Let's Resin lamp. It's a wireless one, and I just press that. You got 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then it's got a 20-minute one. So what I'm going to do, and it just goes as low as possible, pop that on there for 3 minutes, and then I will be back. Okay, so that is pretty much done now. I'll put my lamp away. So that's nice and hard. You can see it's just warped just a little bit, not too much, but you can see that lovely shine on there. And it's nice and hard, and I think that's just beautiful, isn't it? So it looks really, really quite sort of like old and lovely. I'm loving it. Right, I'm going to pop that to the side. Before we do the other one, I'm just going to bring that paper in. See how it's going. Can you see? Look at that. So this one has got quite big cracks in it, which is quite nice. But what I am going to do, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to go back in again and add a little bit more paint to it, and I'm going to actually go in with some blue. So I'm going to just layer this up just a little bit like that, so you can just build up some colour in here. I just love this blue. So don't think you're making a mess. Well, you are making a mess, but just go with it. So I'm going to just look at that. Just looks great, I think. I'm going to dry this a little bit, or let's just go up. Sorry, I need to come out a little bit. There we go. Just going to dry that for a sec. Fabulous. Now, can you see it's got more cracks in it now, which is lovely. Now, I'm going to go again because I can't stop doing this. There we go. I just love it, and I just love it building up the layers. I'm going to go in with a tiny bit of the gold, and then I'm going to pop a layer of the Crackle on again. So just a few bits, because this isn't gold, this is the copper, I mean. So like that. So you can see all these lovely colours coming through like that. I know it looks a little bit messy, doesn't it? But that's the fun of mixed media. Right, I'm going to quickly dry that again. Then I'm going to put some more medium on it, some more Crackle medium. Just a tiny bit, not too much. Just a bit around it, and then just smudge that on. Oh, let me pick my card up. Just go over that. Oh, nice and messy. Look at that. So let's just give that a quick heat. Perfect. And now we're going to do another layer. This is why you need, like I said, you need mixed media paper, because I'm going to put so many layers on this that it needs a paper that's going to take those the paint. So I'm going to just spread that over nice and gently like that. I think the blue takes it really well. Look at that, you can actually see it cracking in there. Don't know whether you can, but the texture in there is just fabulous. So if you're somebody that likes different textures on things, this is fabulous. Well, I'm going to quickly go in with my heat gun again. Super. So I'm going to leave that like that. So can you see? You can. I'm hoping you can see. I'll do a big close-up, a close-up of it at the end of the video anyway. But if you're quite patient and you have lots of time and you can leave it, then go ahead. But like I said, do that. It's nice to do this in the evening and leave them overnight. But I do like layering it up, so I'm going to leave that, pop that one to the side like that. I'm going to get some tissue because I have got paint all over my fingers. And I'm going to leave that one, and I will be doing some more of those because I think next week I will, and then I shall cut them up and see if I can make sort of a nice sort of a canvas, and then put resin over the top. But, oh my gosh guys, I do make a mess, but there we go. That's lovely. So that's the one we've just done, which is just beautiful. I love it. And then I'm going to just do these. So let's just bend them so they're a little bit flatter. But look at that. Isn't that just stunning? I think they are beautiful. A little bit of resin. Let me just get my lamp ready. Make sure I don't have any paint everywhere, because I do make such a mess. Shall we go in? Here we go. Let's do this one. I'll just do one more. Yeah, let's do this one. Or should we do them both? Let's just do them both, because this one is obviously made from the other paper, so I'd like you to see what that looks like as well. So let's pop the resin over. Take a couple more of these little cocktail sticks, which is quite a nice and easy way to do it, because then you can just throw them away. So we just spread this out nice and evenly like that. Now again, if you're going to use it, make it a little bit bigger. If you can do this bigger, you want to make sort of like a topper for your journal, I would back this piece onto a piece of harder card, just so it doesn't warp, and then I think that will be quite nice. So a nice bigger one on the front of for your journal would look beautiful, wouldn't it? So let's put that on there. So I don't know whether you guys like your resin, but I've used all sorts of things today. I like UV resin because it's very instant, isn't it? You get a result straight away. Here we go. Move this around. I will speed this up so it will be a little bit quicker while I do the other one. Just move that over a little bit. So I'm just going to pop those under there for 3 minutes. So let's just come back out again. Let's open up my lamp. So this is a really nice lamp because it just like folds down. It's like in a Z, so it goes really, really low, right on top of them, on there for 3 minutes, and then I will be back. Okay, so they're all ready. Let's pop that away. So yeah, this has just warped just a tiny bit, but we can still just move it just a little bit, and look at that. That's just so pretty, isn't it? Can you see the lovely shine on there? Just lovely. And this one, look, this one's got a little bit of a bend. So just move it just a little bit. So like I said, if you put that on a little bit of card before you added the resin, just to make sure that that is hard, especially if you're doing anything bigger. But look at all those lovely fancy bits and pieces in there, all those lovely textures you can see. Just gorgeous, aren't they? I cut these out and did these while it was those were hardening, and look, they look beautiful. So they are lovely. So again, you don't have to put the resin over the top, but I just think they look beautiful like that, and I am loving them. So let me just pop those to the side. Let's see what this paper's doing. Let's bring this up. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's pretty funky, isn't it? Should we come back out again a little bit? But look at that. That is just fabulous. So again, just because it says leave it for an hour in between each to dry it all, doesn't mean you have to. Experiment, have a go, see what you come up with. But if you like to wait and make sure it's all dry, then go ahead. But I like to experiment and layer things up, and I just think the colours that are coming through here are just fantastic. So all of this, I think I will probably do a little canvas or something next week. Look at these, beautiful, nice and shiny. I do like shiny and pretty, which are lovely. It didn't quite turn out like that one, did it? But I will have a go and make a few more after this video, ready for next week. But loving them. So there we go, guys. Quite simple, really, if you like to make a mess. So I've just used acrylic paint. I'm going to pop this one to the side for a second so I don't stick my fingers in it. We used acrylic paint. We used the Crackle Glaze. Well, it's a Crackle medium by FolkArt, so you guys might even have it in your stash somewhere. We use these lovely rub-ons. Again, you can use whatever you like, but only use your digitals if you've got a laser printer, because you'll find that it will change colour in the resin unless you you know, coat it with something first before you add the resin on. But I would just stick with something like pictures out of magazines even, you could pop on there. But these little rub-ons are just perfect. And then we use the UV resin, so I'll link as much as I can under the video just in case you want to give it a go. And look at these lovely little scrap pieces. They are just beautiful, aren't they, for doing all sorts of bits and pieces. So there we go, guys. That wasn't too long, but I am just absolutely loving how they've come out. So I'm just going to let me just see how grubby is that. Look how grubby that is at the back. What have I got in front? Let me just take this out just so that we can see these are not on my grubby mat. So look at these, they are just beautiful, aren't they? I love them. I will get as close up as I can with pictures at the end of the video, but again, you just make them smaller. Like that, just make them as small or as big as you like, but I made the bigger one, so obviously it's easier for you guys to see me making them. But you can just do these little ones. Oh, actually this one I just did a layer of resin on top of it, and then I added the flower, and then I did some more resin, so it almost looks three-dimensional, because it feels like you can see, because it's sitting up on a layer of resin. So that's really lovely, actually. But I wonder if you could probably dome it. I wonder if you could do little round ones. You could probably do little round ones, couldn't you? And sort of try and dome them a bit better. And then if you did a layer of resin and then your rub-on and then another layer of resin and try and dome it, you'll probably get a really nice effect. I might actually try that. But look at that. That's just so pretty. Again, if you want to do, can you see that shine? Look at that. You could probably sew around it before you resin. Make sure everything is nice and dry, and then you'd have sort of like another look where you'd have stitch marks around it. Fabulous, but I'm loving them. So there we go, guys, a nice little messy one today, but such fun. Lots and lots of fun. So I hope you get your paints out and make a little bit of a mess. Even if you don't have the Crackle medium, you can just layer up different paints in there. Layer, you know, each layer, dry it a little bit and then add another one, but don't actually cover the whole thing. Leave like little areas around, and you'll build up a really lovely sort of texture to your paper. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a fab rest of the day. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. All right, guys, bye bye.